All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Women Speaking Sports RVA. Real quick before we get started, I want to go ahead and shout out our sponsors. We have the Hilton Downtown Richmond, Jerry Howard of E4 Leadership and Business, Fast Signs, and Mike King Biz. So, ladies, I'm going to give you this opportunity to shout out any local business or your own business if you want. Danielle Fitzhugh, who are you giving a shout out to?
You know, I'm going to give a shout out to myself,
Okay.
representing the Chesterfield Chamber of Commerce, and I'm going to double shout out Fast Signs and Mike King Biz, my chamber members.
Woo woo! Dr. Danny, what about you?
Well, of course, I have to lean and share with you all about the Women's Business Center of Richmond, located on the historic campus of Virginia Union University. We are planning our first annual conference that will take place April 27th, 28th.
Woo woo! Sign up, early bird. Lisa, what about you?
Okay, so I got to shout out a couple of my clients.
Of course.
One is Lagrada. I didn't bring chocolate this time. I'm so sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I promise. Next time. So Lagrada Restaurant in the building here with the Hilton, fine dining Italian restaurant. Also Liberty Hollow Suites in Blackstone, Virginia. The Blackstone Emporium, which is a high-end furniture store in Blackstone. And also Hilltop Distillery, which is out in Goochland. So
they won some big awards.
Cheers.
they did. They won People's Choice Award for Best Distillery at the Coastal Virginia Wine Fest. So that was last weekend. Yeah.
That's awesome. Carrie, what about you?
So I am going to call out Brandify's Skin Call, which is a local skincare line here, started by Meg Pride, who is I believe she's a UVA alum for our UVA.
So you know it's going to be great.
So, and it is
You know.
fantastic. And it's just great. So Skin Call is the name of the skincare.
Okay.
And it is a better priced, high-end skincare
I love
line.
I love that.
Yeah, it's made and
Beautiful.
manufactured in Richmond.
Oh, really?
Oh wow, locally,
So
very
is
locally.
is there a
You can
brick
get
and
it
mortar?
online.
Oh, you get it
Yeah,
online?
get it online.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and shout out Refurbished Collectives. They go ahead and take furniture and they refurbish it.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
It's beautiful.
Yes, thank you, Danielle. So I'm going to go ahead and shout them out. I'm also going to take this time while we're local to go ahead and congratulate our mayor for getting engaged yesterday.
What?
Yes, Mayor Stoney is engaged. So if you're listening, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Congratulations. Well, ladies, let's go ahead and get back on topic. Mr. Brian Flores is now a Steelers, and I know Dr. Danny and I probably have something to say about that.
Wait, I thought you were now Cleveland
Okay,
fan.
I am always a diehard.
Always
I
a
am, I'm a-
Steeler, always a Steeler.
I am a Joe Burrow fan.
Just checking.
I am, but the
I thought
Steelers are
that
my home.
ended at the Super Bowl. It's like, so is there something we don't know about? I thought both our Steelers were out, so we just grabbed on to who we grabbed, and I'm Cooper Cup, right? But now that time is gone.
Yeah.
So now we
Yeah,
back.
it's just
But she's still holding on to Burrow, so I'm trying to figure.
Here's the thing. I'm
her boyfriend,
not
though.
holding
Oh.
on to Burrow. I have built a relationship with Burrow.
Okay, I got you.
Because-
Okay.
Let me explain something to you, because I played fantasy football for the first time this year.
Okay.
Not Cooper Cup. That's your guy.
Oh, God.
Joe Burrow.
Subliminal.
Joe Burrow was one of my QBs.
Oh.
Okay.
Now I had him in my lineup, my starting lineup, 11 weeks out of 14.
Okay.
So I've seen how well he's performed. I've seen his stats. I've seen him grow. I've learned to become a fan, considering this is his second year in the league. So just like Steph B is a fan of OBJ and you're a fan of Brady, honey, I'm a fan of Mr. Burrow. Do you hear what I say?
Well, we stand corrected.
Okay. So now that we've squashed that business, thank you very much. The Steelers hire Brian Flores as a senior defense assistant linebackers coach. Former Dolphins coach Brian Flores, sources may say, may never be a head coach again. However, he is back in the league. Dr. Danny, I'm coming straight to you, Miss Ma'am, because we are both Steelers fans. So how do you feel about
So
that?
of course I feel that it's great. And I think for him, I think it speaks more of the Steeler organization.
Absolutely.
Right?
Absolutely.
So, you know, you invest in people
Mhm.
and you have to see people for the talent that they have. And clearly he's a talented coach. I mean, his last 2 seasons were winning coaching seasons with the Dolphins. So
Right.
I think that for him to come there and get a second chance when there was so much controversy about whether he would ever coach ever with the lawsuit against the NFL. So hats off to him. I know that Mike Tomlin and the other coaches around him are going to, you know, let him know that that has nothing to do with us.
Right.
As long as you get the job done with our defense.
Right. Going forward,
yeah.
this is what we
That's right.
expect. And we feel as if you're the person who can produce these results.
Exactly.
And he was also in that role at the Patriots. So
And maybe he
Lord have
found a-
mercy.
She's gonna find a way to drop.
She is
some. I
going
mean,
to say,
you say it's the same
it's
thing.
the same thing for me, honey. We just talked about the Brady bunch.
the dynasty, it is a dynasty. So you
No,
know.
but shout out to the Steelers
But,
because
yeah.
they took that risk despite the fact that there's still a lawsuit with him.
Right.
So kudos to the
Yeah.
Steelers.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
And
taking
maybe
that
he found a home.
Yeah.
Right, so we just
exactly.
talked about OBJ
Right.
on the player side. So as a coach side, maybe he's found a home that he can thrive.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
and, you know,
sometimes when you're so good at your specialty, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're good at being overly good at your specialty and you can thrive there. And I'm excited for him.
Yeah, I don't take anything away from him being a head coach, though. I think that he demonstrated
winning
that he was a
season.
good head coach.
Yes, he was
But
great.
the other thing is that I see
And
that the Steelers were
Miami.
saying in that moment is the truth of the matter is I felt like this is going way back, y'all. I felt like that we should have taken Colin Kaepernick in.
Mhm.
Nobody wanted to play. We did not have a good backup when
Right.
Right.
Kaepernick was ousted and blackballed and everything.
And canceled.
It canceled because and so I kind of feel like that was them thinking in this moment we don't want that to happen again.
Right.
So anyway,
Right. And you know, back in 2020, when a lot of the Black Lives Matter movement was very present in the media, the Steelers were one of the first organizations to step out and say something. So I do feel as if they have learned their lesson from Colin Kaepernick and are going forward knowing that if change is going to happen, we want to be the people to make it.
Well, yeah, and they've got a great record of doing that.
They
Yeah.
do.
Shout out to the Steelers.
Yeah.
And Mike
Yeah.
Tomlin,
Yeah.
who is, if we're talking about locally, you know,
William and Mary.
William and Mary,
Yeah.
757.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we're 804, but you know,
They're neighbors, they're neighbors.
whatever, neighbors.
But you know something, I want to say this too, since you mentioned 757. I was looking over, you know how I like to look over the money. And I was looking,
Receipts.
yes. I was looking over some of the NBA numbers and there's an article out there that talks about the 24 NBA players. You heard about that? Who, you know, totally broke. They said one all-American, McDonald's All-American went to working in McDonald's. And they talk about one that was on welfare. But the funny thing, they didn't talk about Allen Iverson,
Yeah.
but they had Allen Iverson's picture
Right,
right there
yeah,
from the
right.
757. I was like, did you do this so I would click on that report?
Right,
Yeah.
or what?
Yeah, but that kind of, and that goes back to making sure who's around you, because you get to the pros and all of a sudden 20th cousin is now your best
Your best friend.
and you feel compelled, like, oh, all too often people feel compelled that they then need to like take care of.
But
I mean,
but
people
you
start
have these
taking care of
young
themselves.
kids
Who-
that are
Yeah,
getting millions.
yes, absolutely.
For the first time, and they're the saving savior for their family.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And for the first time, they're getting thrown money and not necessarily the management around it. I mean, we see it in all kinds of superstar industries. We see it in music, where all of a
Big in
sudden they're
music.
broke. It's big in music.
Huge.
Can we say MC Hammer?
Yeah.
The
we-
entourage.
yeah.
I mean, I know I went
Yeah.
back, but
Yeah.
But hey,
but
Yeah.
still.
But I think, so on the flip side, with now the name and likeness, I think there's a great opportunity to help bring some education
Right, I was
around
gonna say, we
that
gotta educate them.
while they're in college and have some discipline and some understanding.
So I missed that, Carrie. Please clarify for me. Are you talking to, where's the education gonna come from?
Well, I think opportunity to
Yeah, it's an
educate.
opportunity to educate around there.
These, no, I see it as more of an opportunity for them to start making millions in college.
Yeah,
Right?
but-
So
but-
where is the education
but-
going to happen?
But I
for
will
them
say that, conversely, that's what I thought. I was like, this is some kind of craziness. And I was really against the name and likeness and getting, just because I feel like you are in college and you need to be focused on your academics,
College.
your sports and all of that. And then if you want to go pro, you go pro. But what we've seen from a number of them is they've actually used their money to give to charitable causes, to give back to their communities. And so I just think I think there's a great, what I was trying to say is a great opportunity now with name and likeness to have some more better understanding of finances and how to manage it instead of going straight to the pros and all of a sudden you've got 20 millions versus $1 million.
But I think what Danny's asking, and I can kind of understand because we both had daughters that played college basketball, where if it's not coming from your family, who's guiding you? You don't want family involved when they're pros, but yet when they're in college and you're getting all this money, who is helping them on the business side of that?
So understand that Allen Iverson would have
No,
been.
but I agree. But what I'm saying is who's guiding them in college
So
against that?
Iverson would have ended up being a McDonald's All-American, working at McDonald's. There was a guy that was working with him, that was handling him, that said, you're not getting this money, we're putting it in a trust.
Yeah.
And so that's why he has money to live on now. And so where there could be, what you're saying could play out, I don't think so. I think it just gives them access to that money. And if they would say that the money that you make from name, image, and likeness, that goes in a trust.
Yeah.
You don't touch that.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
if that was the rule, but I understand why they needed to do it. You got coaches, college coaches making $4 and $5 million a year, and you got players going home hungry at night. So they had to do something about it. But at the end of the day, when I look at, again, looking back at the numbers, the NBA generates over $10 billion a year in all that they do. If you look at the 500 or so players that's in there, they're generating $20 million a year per player. Okay. They could actually have a certificate program. I don't care, but there should be more than just, let me explain to you. Women gonna come at you and they're gonna try to get your money. They do that. They're gonna say, watch this, don't it?
Yeah.
But they need to invest in the players' awareness of how to manage their money, and they can do that. So if someone would do that at the college level for athletes, come on.
I feel like that's
Yeah, I
where, when I was in college, that's where I studied, is in the comms field. So when you get a professional job in your comms field, you're supposed to sit down with the players and say, this is what you're supposed to do. This is what you're not supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to wear. This is not what you're supposed to wear. Right now, it's the responsibility of the communications and PR people to say, this is what's coming your way, because the coaches may kind of say, hey, the ladies are coming, but they may see it as like a joke. But what I've seen recently in the industry, that it's been up to the communications and the PR team to let the players know what's really happening behind closed doors or
And that's only
open doors or what have
even
you.
some of the larger schools that have bigger budgets. They have
Right.
internal sports promotions and marketing.
Right.
That would be a great place to have a space that would help athletes with their name 100%.
Yeah.
Right.
I should develop a company to do that.
Yeah, honey, because everybody needs a Dr.
Remember that
Danny. That's
seed
what
that
we're
was
getting.
planted right here on Women in Sports.
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
there is a startup that was supported here called Athletics, and they're out of Michigan, but they were part of the Lighthouse Labs. And what they do,
Shout out
is,
Lighthouse Labs.
what they do is help the negotiations of those contracts to the point of understanding what is good and what is bad for you, so that you don't get into these contracts that are not helpful to you.
Yeah. Well, hopefully something good comes of it. I think that college athletes, I go back to the days of, I cannot think of his name. He was at NC State, and I remember he used to sell his sneakers after the game, so he would have money to eat.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, those stories back in the day. And I remember when, I forget that little school that won the NCAA championship. and they asked one of the players, you know, what did you do? Da, 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 da. And he talked about not eating. So my daughter was a benefit from that, because after that, the NCAA said that these athletes, when they come out of practice, must have something to
Yeah.
eat. So they started giving them stipends, because when they would finish, the calf would be closed and everything.
Absolutely.
Right.
And so, you know, I just look at it, I'm fine with them making money in college, but I don't automatically assume that they're going to learn money management.
Right, in college.
Right.
But somebody's
I
got to
agree.
take that on as a priority and offer it as a resource to the.
Yeah,
I
because I will
agree.
tell you right now, I've been out of college for 3 to 4 years now, and reflecting back, I can't remember a course where I was taught money management. A lot of it came from my mom
Exactly.
and like family members and close friends, you know what I'm
And
saying?
just to touch on what you were talking about too, when our daughters played basketball, they had this COA, cost of attendance, which they got the stipend for.
Yes, they
Was a
got.
couple $1,000s. It depended on the size of the school. But I remember my daughter was a couple $1,000s a year, and I made her put that money back and then take some out and put it in the bank. But a lot of her teammates were buying hoverboards and sneakers and,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
so it already happened at that level without the
Yeah.
likeness.
Yes,
image.
honey, because
Yeah.
we are quick to put something in our Shein
Yeah.
cart.
But wait a minute, but shout out to Lisa's daughter.
Right.
She's
Oh,
coaching.
yeah.
Yeah, tell us.
She's an assistant basketball coach at Washington College in Chestertown,
And she just had
Maryland.
she had an upset win.
They had an upset win, and they just went past the first round of their tournament, and they're
Oh.
on to first time in school history, and they're playing again on Friday, I think. So,
Wow.
yeah, really,
Congratulations.
Really great. Thank you.
Shout out to your daughter.
Well, shout out to my daughter too.
Yeah.
I meant to mention
yeah.
it last week.
Yes, ma'am.
She's been waiting. COVID kind of hit a little hard, where all of her aspirations to play at the next level were squashed, but now she's got an opportunity. She's in Mexico playing for the Lady Lumberjacks in Durango,
Oh.
Mexico.
Oh,
So
She had
congratulations.
33 points her first game.
Oh, wow.
Say,
Yes,
wow.
ma'am.
Some
That's no joke.
statistics.
Yeah.
Because you know, Dr. Danny has receipts, honey.
Yeah, that's
She
fantastic.
did.
Can't
She
go
was on
anywhere without it.
television.
That's fantastic.
No, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, speaking of influential women, the U.S. soccer team, they have made some movement this past week. Shout out to them. The players from the United States women's national team have settled their class action equal pay lawsuit against the U.S. Soccer Federation. Lord have mercy, for the total of 24 million. How much of a movement is this? How shattered did the glass
I was just
ceiling?
saying-
Yeah,
you said-
yeah.
You said coaches?
Women basketball coach, coaches.
Well, I want the
Yeah.
women basketball players to start making money. And you know what?
The players
The
too.
WNBA and the NBA, they ought to do something now.
Yes,
Don't
now.
wait.
Yeah.
Because if we're talking about media and how much they can carry a story, why not get on it while the iron is hot?
That's right.
If one
Absolutely.
team is making this big of a change, then our hockey teams, then our WNBA teams, all of our teams that are with women led need to get on this right now.
Yeah, and now they have a precedent
Right.
when they go
Absolutely.
into
Oh,
court.
so I mean, again, my thing is that before the lawsuit come, there, somebody should be in the back office having a conversation saying, this is what we're gonna do to level out.
Yes. Because this is a missed opportunity if they don't.
And then the opportunity, I mean, this is all US, so we gotta start somewhere. And then especially for soccer, I mean, just the payout from these tournaments when they go internationally, the disparity between the same tournament for men are millions
Right.
on what the players and teams get. It is millions of difference.
It'll be interesting how the US addresses that with FIFA, because they also control the World Cup.
Yeah,
So
right.
I think our federation is going to have to really make up for the difference of that, which is also groundbreaking
Right.
for other countries.
Right, and quite frankly, take a stand. They're gonna
Yeah,
have to push
absolutely.
the issue at an international level.
Yeah.
And
In our
hopefully-
lifetime, guys,
Yeah.
it could
Yeah.
be so.
Yeah, that's,
Yes.
Rosie the Riveter.
yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Carrie, what's your take on this? How do you feel?
I have mixed, I mean, I have mixed feelings about it.
Okay.
Because there's two sides of this, right? There's the one, okay, if they are exceeding the attendance and all this great stuff that the men are doing, then they should get paid more. But we can't forget that there's also the business side of things. So we can get there, but we've got to make sure that we not only just get there, but women's sports have got to figure out how to excel from there. And so I don't want to lose the fact that we still have got to perform,
Right.
even though we're going to bring this up to that level. Then let's go and kick it out of the park or off the the soccer field, and so that's
Well,
how
the
I
sad
feel.
thing is that we make stars out of people, right?
Yep.
And in this country, people like Don Saley and some of the other people, I mean, if you just think about some of the names of the people who have come through and played, Carissa Davis, one of my daughter's coaches, but she was one of the first women when the, WNBA was coming about. And my point is, all of them, the early ones will tell you, I made more money outside my country.
Yeah.
And so we've got to fix that. And so there is enough money. I kind of gave you the numbers. There's enough money to go around, but there are clever ways. I mean, I don't know, have the girls' game before the men's game. I mean, let it be at 6 o'clock and let theirs be at
so
8.
I thought there's a great idea to have the NCAA championship in the same city for both the women and the men's
Absolutely.
basketball. I mean, I just think let's
equal
look up
amenities.
together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
And
yes.
equal amenities.
Equal amenities.
Same city, but
Yep.
equal amenities.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, and because I guess I have some sensitivity around us trying to wait till something happens. I'll give you an example. HBCUs, it's a CIAA tournament going on in Baltimore right now, guys. The MEAC is getting ready to go, where you have a lot of historically Black colleges and universities playing.
Shout out to BSU,
VSU,
Virginia Union.
Yeah.
But I guess my point is that before the All-Star game this year, they had an HBCU Classic, the first ever. They had Morgan State playing Howard University. Someone didn't say, let's wait until everybody knows about these schools to do that. They took their celebrity and they gave that stage and that opportunity for players to be seen in that capacity and grow into it. And that's the same thing that I think has to happen. You got to say,
I love what Deion Sanders has been doing to help some of that too. I mean, I follow him too, and I just love what he's done with that school. Love what he's done with his kids. Both his son and his daughter are exceptionally well.
But if he had not been a superstar
Right, I know.
football
Right.
player in
But
his
he-
own profession,
Yeah.
would they have gotten the recognition?
well,
and
the
brand?
team performed, though.
Yes.
Just like she
Yes.
was saying
Right.
before, there's got to be a performance factor. But what he decided to do is, I'm not going to wait until
Right.
the
He
school
was
comes to
becoming
me,
the catalyst.
some other school to
Yeah.
pay me a whole lot of money.
Right.
I got legacy over here.
Yeah.
Let me do
Right.
this.
And getting back to the soccer, we did outperform our men's team.
That's what I said.
Yes, we did.
Some money. So that
Absolutely.
was, I think that was the
Yeah.
biggest issue was that, okay, this isn't equal,
Yeah.
but yet we're performing better, our attendance is better. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I will say, if we're looking at the business side of things, last year when the US soccer team won, TikTok was just crazy. Like a lot of videos of just females just like speaking up and stuff like that. So that, in my opinion, gave them that cultural push that, when you do something big, you want the big culture and society behind them. But I think this is great for them to trailblaze for, like I said earlier, for like other sports to just come up.
Yeah, I mean, I remember in probably first grade playing soccer, and there was only 2 girls on the soccer team, and I was one of them. Y'all are probably surprised that I was actually on the soccer team.
Not surprised, not surprised.
It
Running,
didn't last
it
too
involves
long
running.
after I got knocked out by the soccer ball. But anyway, I remember like before, when I was growing up, it wasn't, girls didn't really play soccer.
Yeah, I coached soccer for 1 year only. And there was 1 girl on the team that I coached.
And now it's like you're 2 years old, everybody plays soccer, which I
Right.
think is really fantastic. And then we can, build it all the way up. But you've got to have those people that we can now see with our women's national team, that like motivate you and inspire you to say, I'm going to go on the soccer field past being 5 years old.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So I do want to give a quick shout
Yeah.
out, because we were talking local. A local hometown player played for Atlanta, Ricardo Marsh, was running a training facility here, played for the Hawks. He is now the assistant coach his first year at Virginia State University.
Wow.
His
Oh, wow.
longtime coach, Blow, he's down there with his crew and his team. this year has been a little not what they wanted. but
Right.
Shout out to him in his first coaching
That's
season.
exciting.
Right.
Love it.
Well,
Shout out to my
congratulations.
niece at Virginia State. She's a graduate assistant doing physical, supporting the sports teams. She traveled with the teams.
Oh,
and stuff.
wonderful. That's a
Yeah.
great
Important.
experience.
Gotta keep
That's
them out
a
there.
nice fellowship. That's really
Absolutely,
good.
yeah.
That's really good. Well, ladies, it's been another amazing week here at Women Speaking Sports. Once again, you can find us at ESPN Richmond at 106.1 Fridays at 6 a.m. and The Choice at 105.3 on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Ladies, always a pleasure. See you next week on Women Speaking Sports, RVA.
Yay.
Awesome job.
Yeah.
Star, you have a great voice to be.
Thank you.